you'd better make sure you don't miss any of those QuickTime events.
So why do we hate QuickTime events?
Who says we hate QuickTime events?
Welcome into QuickTime Event Episode 10, brought to you by middleofnowheregaming.com. I am Courtney Osborne, and today I'm joined by Lou Quintaldi.
Hey, gamers.
And Audrey Lips. Is that actually correct?
Yes, that actually is correct.
Okay.
It's her stage name.
I just know how there's so many Facebook names that are false, people just add stuff on there, and so I've never actually asked.
Nope, it's actually my name.
It's short for Lipschitz.
Okay, well, anyways, how about Lou, you walk them through what we're doing here?
As you know, if you've clicked on this, you are listening to the QuickTime event. QTE is our Topical Time podcast. We find a topic that is trending, and we talk about it for a certain amount of time. What's the timer set at today, Courtney?
We have it at 10 minutes again.
Okay, and what's the topic?
Our topic is the Naughty Dog game-based movies.
There's just a recent announcement, really recent announcement, right?
There was two announcements that came this week. One came today. The one earlier this week was that the Uncharted movie is going to be released on June 10th, 2016. And that was basically the only announcement regarding it, because there's no actress involved with it anymore. Mark Wahlberg was going to be Nathan Drake, but there is no longer an actor associated with it because they changed directors. And the director is going to be Seth Gordon, who's known for Horrible Bosses and Identity Thief. But and the announcement today was that the Last of Us movie has a director and all that, and may be bringing in an actress and actor to play Joel and Ellie. And the rumored Ellie is going to be Maisie Williams, known for her role as Arya Stark in Game of Thrones. However, there's no confirmation yet, but they've kind of hinted at it. And Bruce Campbell is rumored to be playing Joel. So that's basically all we have on information-wise regarding those. So that, I don't know. I just feel like that would be a good topic to talk about. What do you guys?
Yeah.
I'm kind of stumbling. I need a drink of water is what I need right now.
Too bad. Wait till after. It's 10 minutes.
Okay. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Ready when you are.
10 minutes on the clock and go. All right, Lou, lead us in.
All right, so question number one. Are these movies going to be good? Think of other gaming movies like Prince of Persia, Tomb Raider, or Resident Evil. While we may love them in a guilty pleasure kind of way, none of those movies are actually good per se.
Okay, my argument, though, would probably be, were the game stories any good to begin with? Tomb Raider, was it, other than the recent Tomb Raider, were the old stories any good?
I don't have enough experience with Tomb Raider to say.
I mean, I played them during the 90s, but God, that was just like a pixelated girl with big tits and guns,
Resident Evil, I thought, always had a pretty good story.
It was good at scaring the shit out of people. I mean, yeah, it was an okay story, but it is kind of a good story. I guess I'll give you that. The whole spreading of the disease and everything, and the Umbrella Corporation, all that.
Right. But then again, the video games don't actually conform with the movie story, right?
Yep.
That might be the issue.
The movie story is completely different from the video game story. And now, so is that what you think is the difference between them, and why one is praised and the other isn't?
I think it would be. If you think about it, with Last of Us, it's almost like a movie already, if you kind of think about it.
That's true. It's close.
It's very story-based rather than gameplay, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think that would be a great transition into a movie, as long as they don't change too much about it and they find a good way to, mesh in the gameplay storyline.
Yeah.
Without just tarting it up with a bunch of action scenes. I think it could be great.
Yeah, I can see that. Though there's a lot of other things that, are big narrative experiences I wouldn't be able to see on the big screen. Final Fantasy, whenever they've done one of those live action or stuff like that, never turned out very well. I think if they did Metal Gear Solid, even though there's hours of movies there, that wouldn't turn out well. I don't know. I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, and I know I'm going to go see it. But I really hope they actually put the work in to make it a good movie and not just a video game movie.
Yeah. Now, we do have confirmation. I think that we should include question 4 into this as well, because I think whether or not these games are going to be good are going to be depending on whether or not they tell their own story or if they follow the story, and then how well they follow the story if they do, you know? And so, do you guys think that the movies should follow these stories, or do you think that they should be their own?
I think definitely they should follow the story.
Both Uncharted and The Last of Us?
Both of definitely at least with Last of Us. I mean, I played that game way more than I've actually played Uncharted.
Mm-hmm.
Only ever watched people play Uncharted, and definitely with The Last of Us, it's great on its own already.
Yeah.
Like, so I really don't. The story is amazing. So if they change that, then it's just another zombie movie. It's just another World War Z or something. So
Yeah.
I think it's crucial to keep that story. I think Uncharted could be a little like different. Like Uncharted, I think could like have a lot of humor put into it that
Definitely.
the game didn't have as much.
No,
Yeah.
the game had a lot.
Yeah, but the scenes, like the action scenes and stuff.
Right. Okay. Substitute something.
Like I think it could be an action like comedy thing, sort of.
Right.
Like, I could see that.
I agree that The Last of Us should definitely follow the game story, and it's already been confirmed that it is going to. How much of it we don't know, all that stuff, but it is going to do that. And I like how the director of the movie, Sam Raimi, said that it's going to be a great character journey, a great love story, a great horror fiction. Like that in itself right there kind of like confirms to me that it's going to be the movie I want. It's not going to just be a zombie movie. It's going to be about the characters and their development and their journey that they take in the game.
Let's hope he doesn't include any chainsaw hands for that.
I don't know, not The Last of Us, Uncharted, I don't think it needs to follow any of the games. I think Uncharted is a series where you could tell so many different stories that are all the same action movie style of story, and it be just as good. For instance, the Tomb Raider movies, something along the lines, or like National Treasure, or what was the Sahara? Was that a movie too? I think that was a good movie too, about like treasure hunting kind of stuff. Like any of those movies, all those movies, now while they may not be like the best movies, they're still good movies, and they have some great stories or funny stories and an interesting history involved in them. And I think that if the Uncharted movie is anything like those, and it just tells a unique story about Drake and Sully going into the jungles or the ruins of something, that I think it would be awesome. I think they could do it a really good way without telling the original story from the game.
How have we went so far without mentioning Indiana Jones?
I was just about to say that. It's like they have to be careful towing around Indiana Jones because they could very easily be seen like as copying Indiana Jones if they make a movie that's a little bit too different from the game and too similar to an action movie.
Right.
Am I wrong? I don't remember all of the Indiana Jones movies. I've seen them all, but don't they all have some sort of supernatural thing into it? Or
I think that's just that last one.
is it just the last one?
Crystal Skull?
Yeah.
Like, I guess sorta. Like some of them have like
Raiders of the
like,
Lost Ark.
They have like voodoo and stuff, so it's kind of like that like ancient magic stuff. It's not really like
curses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never seen that.
They're like curses, but they're not. They're like it's like Scooby-Doo. Like they reveal them to not really be curses.
Because I think if the Uncharted movie falls something like Golden Abyss, the Vita game, where it doesn't have any sort of supernatural, any sort of weird curses, and it's just like trying to find this treasure for some reason because Drake is in trouble and he needs to pay a debt or something like that, I think that could be really cool.
Right. Let me throw my hat into the ring on this one.
But
even if it was kind of like Uncharted 3, spoilers when you get to the end, they kind of make it out to say that it's not, nothing there is supernatural by any means. And I think that the really great part about Uncharted are the characters and the writing for Uncharted. The stories are awful, in my opinion.
They're action movie stories.
They're action movie stories, and they've made them more dynamic. Like 3 was definitely more dynamic, but really a lot of the game is more about getting you in really cool situations or getting you in really cool environments that you have to climb, and focused on the story like, let's say, The Last of Us was.
Yeah.
So I think they can make any story they wanted and just put those characters in there and get that writing team there, and it will be awesome.
Yeah, if the writing team is good enough to make, if it can mock and copy the humor and stuff that's involved in the Uncharted games, like Drake almost falling off a cliff and like nearly shitting his pants and then laughing whenever he realizes that he's okay and like falling back, like those kind of scenes, if they have that kind of stuff in the movie, then they really can't go wrong.
Right. So how about we move on to the next question?
Okay.
This one is one of my favorites. Who should be playing Drake and Sully, or Joel and Ellie? We have the rumors that Mark Wahlberg might have been involved for Drake, or...
We have a minute and 40 seconds left.
Oh, let's do this rapid fire then.
Yeah, I was going to say, go ahead. Who do you think? Why?
I'm saying Chris Pratt, because Chris Pratt's all buff and awesome looking, and he's got that real humor to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's preparing for Jurassic Park. Robert De Niro would be Sully in that case, because he looks the part. For Joel, I'm saying Gerard Butler, and for Ellie, Mackenzie Foy, who was in the Twilight movies and was in The Conjuring.
I agree with Chris Pratt for Drake. However, I don't think that he needs to be buff. I think he needs to slim down, because Drake is not buff. Drake is a very slim man. And then for Sully, I think Bruce Campbell would be perfect. But for Joel, I think Joel should be Hugh Jackman, because him and his big-ass beard, I think he would be perfect for it. And then for Ellie, the girl from Kick-Ass, Chloe Grace Moritz or something like that, I think she would be perfect because she's got a little smart-ass mouth and just a little skinny girl.
I like those too. For me, I think a good Drake would be Gerard Butler, like was said before. And another one I thought was Dylan McDermott. If you're not familiar with who it is, it's the dad in the first American Horror Story season.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he would be a great, like him, in my opinion.
I think he would too.
Yeah, I think another option would be Jeremy Renner, which is also, God, what's his name? In Avengers, the Archer.
Oh, Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, yeah. I think he could be a good one. As for Sully, I agree with Robert De Niro, and I also think Tommy Lee Jones, Men in Black, would be another good choice. Oh, can I get just added?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think for Joel, I think Dylan McDermott would also be a good choice for that, because he is a little bit older, and Hugh Jackman also, but also Josh Brolin. I think he would be great. He's in No Country for Old Men, the last Men in Black movie. I think it'd be great. And for Ellie, I'm sorry I have to say it, Ellen Page. I'm sure I'm not the only one that thought that. She is a bit older, but, technology can make her look young. She already does look young, so I think she just looks like Ellie.
All right. Well, we didn't get to all of our questions, but that's
I really like the question that we left off.
But that's how QuickTime Event works.
I know. I'm saying let's save that for.
We could definitely do that on a Mong podcast or something. We could talk about it as a question.
I'll send the question by email.
So thank you guys once again for joining me on this episode. It was fun. I for one am excited for both of these movies. I don't know about you guys. They could end up being really good.
Definitely.
Yeah. You still have to play Uncharted though.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. All right. So anyways, you can find our Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and website and all that stuff. Just look for Middle of Nowhere Gaming or Mong Podcast or QuickTime Event Podcast. All that stuff, you can find it. And then you can find us all on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Osborne_2009. You can find Lou at
Lou Contaldi.
And you can find Audrey at
Audrey.
For show, bro. Mong?
Mong.